Thank you. We are joined by the fantastic Dallas Stewart, who is here with the Dubai World Cup this year. He was obviously here last year with the fantastic filly, Forever Unbridled. You are back this year with Seeking the Soul. Just talk a little bit about how long has this race kind of been on your radar with him?
Well, we were actually looking at it last year, and he got an injury, so he had quite a few months off, and he healed up good, came through that good, and then, you know, after the Breeders' Cup, we actually wanted to run in the Breeders' Cup Classic and didn't get in, so we ran in the mile, and he ran terrific, and then we hooked the same horse down in Florida, and we ran second again to him. So then after that, you know, the Dubai Cup was on the plate too.
Well, I said that race in the Pegasus you mentioned there, you know, when you look at just how the track was playing and all the factors that kind of went into it, the fact that he was able to close the way he did and get second, I mean, what does that just tell you about his talent and his ability?
Yeah, I mean, it was a real muddy racetrack, and he was way, way back, and he ran great. He had some traffic trouble. He fought on good. I mean, so it was a great effort.
Safe to say this is a horse that you've always been high on. I remember you ran him in the Belmont Stakes off a maiden win. What is it about him when you first got him and started working with him that was telling you that he had that sort of ability to not just be a good horse, but really be able to take that next step to the top level?
Yeah, he's a real tough horse, and he trains hard. He's just real honest. He's a kind of a macho man type.
He's mean, isn't he?
He's a little bit mean, but he, you know, he does his job. He looks great. He travels well. He's won over different racetracks. He equaled a track record at Keeneland and an allowance race, and so he knows how to fight with the big boys. He really does. So we'll see what happens.
And the fact that I know you said you wanted to go in the Classic, you ended up in the dirt mile, still ran a very credible race that day. For him to have that kind of turn of foot, to be as effective going 8 furlongs as he is over 10 furlongs, how sort of rare and exceptional is that in itself?
Well, it just shows you that he's a real good racehorse, and he likes what he does, and he trains hard at it every day. He's a very healthy 6-year-old horse now, so he's 6, and he's a real honest horse.
He kind of, he had his big breakthrough in the Clark Handicap, which was a great day for you.
Yeah.
Then he went through a little bit of a rough patch there after that. What were some of the issues that you were maybe dealing with him, and what has been sort of the biggest challenge with getting him back to his top form?
Well, like I said, he did have an injury after the Pegasus, and we just took our time with him, and he healed up great. He was a really good patient, and he didn't have to have any surgery, but we just took our time, did a lot of jogging with him, a lot of icing, and just, plain old-fashioned horsemanship, and he healed up great, got back to the big time in good fashion. So just goes to show you he's a good horse.
And this is a horse that has some pretty blue blood running through him. For maybe some of our media who aren't as familiar, just talk about a little bit. He comes from one of the really great female families that we have in American racing.
Right, absolutely. As Mr. Fipke is the owner, the breeder, he owns the dad. He bought the grandmother from the Phipps. So I think she's a sister to Personal Ensign. And so he's a grandson of Personal Ensign. So he's got some, great bloodlines. And so he's got the credibility to get it done, I think.
Mr. Fipke goes without saying, it's hard to overstate just, how much he's meant to you in your career in recent years. How did that relationship sort of come about with him? It was Lemons Forever who brought you guys together, basically, right?
Yeah, I owned and trained her with some other clients, and we sold her, and he bought her. So I went up and talked to him and thanked him for paying $2.5 million for her. And he says, hey, I'm going to send you some horses. A lot of guys say that, but he did, and we just started it off. And then Lemons Forever started having babies, and I trained Unbridled Forever. She won a grade 1. And then Forever Unbridled, she won a grade 1. And so that's the way it started off. So he's been sending me horses for like 10 years or so. We've been working for him, maybe. So he's a lot of fun. He's a wild guy. He's a lot of fun.
Does that add to it, too? I mean, so when you have such a great relationship with an owner like that, I know he's been always so key with giving you the time to let you do what you need to with these horses.
He's great about that, yeah.
I mean, does it make it more special when you're able to come to big races like this and be able to bring him to a stage like this?
Yeah, I mean, he plays a part in some ways, but he lets you do your daily routine and lets you, do your thing. He does have a lot of input in a lot of different areas, but he's great to work for. He's a very smart guy, and he loves the game. like you can't believe. I mean, he just puts his heart and soul into it, and his wallet. You know, he's probably got 100-something brood mares. You know, just he puts everything he's got into the game. He's quite fun.
This, your past experience at Dubai, what, if anything, did you take from that you're maybe applying for this year and for this run?
I mean, you need to be ready, as in any big race, you know, and, you know, we kind of took a lot of the same approach with this horse as we did bringing her over here. But they do a great job getting the horses here. I mean, the horses, you know, I've only got, 2 horses here now, but they get the horses here and give you a great place to train them and just do your normal horsemanship with the horse. And so, I mean, I think we're ready. I like the way the horse is trained. I just like the way he looks, his attitude. You know, he's very bold about himself. And so I don't know if we're changing much from last year, but, you know, I think we're ready.
How key is it to have the horse who doesn't just have the physical ability, but has the mental fortitude to kind of handle everything that they see over here? You know, it's a lot of pomp and circumstances. Does that kind of play into it as well?
Look, it's a heavyweight fight. You need to be ready. You know, it's just like walking into the big arena, and everybody's waiting over there to see what you can do. So you got to have the horse with the right attitude and the right just presence about himself to be able to handle a big night like here. And he's been at some big stages. You know, like you said, he was in the Pegasus. That's a big stage. The Clark, that's a big stage. The Breeders' Cup, so he's a big stage horse.
Looking at the draw, I mean, looking ahead to that, with his running style, is it any?
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to stress out about it. You know, so it's you know, you like to be in the middle, maybe not so much down inside, but if it happens like that, we'll let Mike Smith handle it.
Do you feel like this year's field is maybe just a little bit maybe wide open than maybe we've seen in some past seasons?
I mean, like I said this morning, it's a big race. You know, you can't say to yourself, hey, this is an easier field than last year or 2 years from now. Just be ready to run. Just have your horse ready to run, because if you're not, somebody else is going to be ready. Don't matter. It's a big stage race, so you got to be ready.
I said, you've won Breeders' Cups. I said you've won some. You know, I said you've got Oaks wins. What would a win in the Dubai World Cup sort of? You know, is there any way to put what that would mean into words?
Well, I think my wife will like it. It's a big payday, you know, so she'll be pretty happy.
Go hit the
She'll probably leave some of the money over here. No, it's not just the money. I mean, hey, it's a big race, you know, for everybody to have us over here, and it's a grade 1. So it's huge. I mean, it'd be huge for me.
Yeah, and it feels like, too, you know.
Not bad for a little kid from Mississippi, you know. I don't know if you know what Mississippi is.
You've done all right for yourself, haven't you?
No, I mean, you know, it's a long way from Mississippi, but, you know, look, it's a big stage race. It's one you need to be ready for. We got a great horse. It's going to be a great night. And
this is a chance. I mean, we've seen some attrition with the older male division in America this year. This is the chance for him to really kind of stamp himself as one of the leaders in the handicap ranks going forward.
I really hope so. I really do. So,
any questions out there?
The distance, is it any worry at all? He seems his best races have been at a mile to a mile and 1/8 so far.
well, I don't know that he's run many 1.25 miles. As he ran that 1.5 miles in the Belmont, but he really wasn't ready for that. So I think it'd be fine.
You mentioned Mike Smith. Am I right in saying this will be his first ride?
On the horse? Yeah, I believe so.
And how did that association?
Well, yeah, I mean, Velasquez was going to ride him, and then he wants to ride the Florida Derby, so that's what he chose. So we moved over to the next champion jockey. Wasn't a hard decision.
Anyone else? Dallas, thank you for coming up and for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Continued best of luck with everything.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Great night, and like I say, the horse is doing great. You know, we're glad to be here, and let's go have a good time.
Well, thank you for bringing them over.
Thank you.